All this had to be and couldn't have been otherwise, thought Pierre. So it's no use wondering whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. It has to be a good thing because it's something definite. There's no more of that agonizing suspense. Yes, of course, it's a very brilliant match, but happiness, my dear. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Reading War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy Diaries. Today is October 1st, and we are here discussing our thoughts thus far. We've made it to page 242. I'm still in one of those moods. It's just one of them days that a girl goes through when I'm angry inside. Don't wanna take it out on you. Okay, anyways. I just wanna be alone and you think I treat you right. Love that song. So yeah, it's one of them days, and I'm just really not in a good mood. So I'm gonna try my best. Despite how I'm currently feeling in my personal life, my reading life, oh my gosh, my reading experience has been top tier, very entertaining, very much like take me away out in the car, dropping the gas, so far that we can't see this place anymore. I am over it. Anyways, but yeah, like it's really nice to kind of like escape and get away and just kind of like have a really good time. Even though last night, I'm not even gonna hold you, I did want to skip ahead and read, but I was like, no, take your time. I just want to take my time. I really want to be able to sit with my thoughts and think on things and not like rush and stuff like that. Like this year is all about me just like reading with like my intentions when it comes down to reading is just different. Like I want to be able to really just sit and experience the reading as opposed to my purpose, my intent being to like hurry up and finish it as quick as I can. No, we're not doing that. So last episode, we talked about how there was like a battle. I forgot where was it, over at Olmutz or something like that, over by that area. Yeah, it was. That was pretty. That was pretty war heavy. And I'm gonna give my. It's gonna be a little bit of a long video because I do want to give a lot of my thoughts. With last night's reading experience, I realized that there's a lot of links. Okay, it feels like now that I'm starting to see that everything has its place. Everything was put where it was put intentionally. Even the words. When sometimes I was like, is that symbolism? I don't really know. And it's like, yeah. It's symbolism. And so I really want to get into that a little bit because I have a little theory that whole situation is over. We run on over to Prince Vasily. Oh my gosh. Can I tell you guys I don't like him? Did I tell you guys I don't like him? I do not like him. In this reading experience, I was livid. I was livid. So Prince Vasily spends a lot of his time close to Pierre. He can't help himself. That's what Leo says. But he has intentions to get close to Pierre so that he can arrange a marriage between him and his daughter Helene. Because Pierre is such an oblivious being, he allows Vasily to tell him what to do, like getting him a job he doesn't want as a diplomat and where to spend his money, like giving his sister, his older sister, remember her? Way back when she and Prince Vasily were trying to look at the will so that they can get the paper so that Pierre doesn't become a legitimate son and therefore get the right to Count Bezukhov's money, so it can all go to Prince Vasily. Anyways, so yeah, he gave his older sister $30,000, and also to Vasily had several thousand from the Ryanzan estate. And yeah, that kind of pissed me off because he did it in like a sneaky way. He's like, oh, I did all this work for you, but don't worry, I'll just get it from the back end of the estate or whatever, but didn't really specify what that was. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, I've washed my hands right? I've come to terms with Pierre because it's like, if he's going to continue to be ignorant and allow these things to happen, like, who am I to judge, right? Like, at this point, it's out of my hands and I shouldn't invest too much of my time and energy and my emotions getting mad at someone who doesn't want to do the due diligence to do the right thing for himself. Pierre is aware that the people who once looked over him and flat out disrespected him are now the same ones that now shower him with compliments and affection. His biggest hater, Anna Pavlovna, gets cozy with him, though Pierre can still see that she has to put in great effort to do so. She assists in setting up Pierre and Helene together. Pierre initially wasn't attracted to Helene, especially since hearing about Helene's relationship with her brother, Anatole. Y'all remember him? Mm-hmm. They had a little thing when they were younger, and that was the reason why Anatole was shipped to Paris. Yeah, but overcome with lust, logic and reason doesn't seem to get through to him, and Vasily is able to confirm their engagement without him even saying a word. Like, what? Like, we doing grown-up things, and we can't be this childish. What is going on? When Prince Vasily finessed Pierre into marrying his daughter, and Pierre said nothing, that was insane. Insane. And it's like, okay, so you're overcome with lust. But it's like, you go to these parties with Anatole, and you've experienced women before. So the fact that he was overwhelmed because she showed a little bosom, and it wasn't even the full frontal, it was just a little cleavage. It's just like, what? Oh my gosh. Anyways, whatever. It's Pierre's life, so it's just like, he gotta do what he gotta do. But here's the thing, the crazy thing is, I was cracking up because it's like, Vasily takes no days off, right? He immediately goes to Count Bolkonsky's place with the intent to arrange a marriage between his son Anatole and Maria. Is it Mariah or Maria? Maria? Hearing that Vasily is on his way sets Count Bolkonsky on a rampage. I thought it was funny a little bit on some parts, like when he made his servants like shovel the snow back on the path because they removed it to make the path, the driveway, easy for Vasily to drive up. I thought that was hilarious. I was laughing. But he throws a little bit of a tantrum, right? Nearly hitting one of his servants, and throws a plate because he thinks there's a spot on it. I'm like, all right, Bolkonsky, you doing too much. Grow up. Hearing this news, right, the girls, except Maria, are excited to receive the visitors because Maria is ugly, and Leo Tolstoy makes it a point to remind us every single time. They try their best to give her a proper makeover, but nothing really works. When Maria joins the party, Vasily is taken aback by her unattractiveness, and her father clowns her in front of everyone and calls her out for allowing the men's attendants to cause her to act out of character. This act upsets Bolkonsky very much because, for one, he doesn't like the idea of having to give up his daughter to someone he clearly sees doesn't want her, but in fact wants her companion, Borean. And secondly, Bolkonsky has a very low opinion on Prince Vasily and feels them unworthy. Still, he's so upset at his daughter's actions that he's willing to give her up. This gets me upset because it literally wasn't her idea to get dressed. The girls forced her until she nearly cries, so for her father to try and punish her because he doesn't know how to properly contextualize why he's really mad, he projects it all onto her, when in reality, she needs her father to protect her naivety from the likes of those vultures. Yes, she looks silly, and yes, she might like him, but she can't help her juvenile crush that she has on Anatole. And it's not her fault. She isn't equipped to discern from what's true and what's performative. She knows no better. This whole scene pissed me off because Bolkonsky states that if Maria says yes, then Anatole can marry her, and Anatole doesn't like her at all. He actually has hidden plans to be with Borean, and Borean has plans to be with him. And Liza is no better because she's aware of Anatole's deviancy, and yet she doesn't protect Maria either. Why can't Maria be with Pierre? Like, that would have been such a good match. So, okay, this whole thing really kind of set me off because it's like Count Bolkonsky, he doesn't want to give up his daughter, and he feels in his heart that like he loves her in his strange little way. He loves her, and I believe him, but it's like instead of him opening up and being that way and expressing and living in that truth, he would rather allow himself to become consumed by his anger. It's outside of her control. Now granted, like she could have changed her outfit, like the fact that she just kind of like went numb and she didn't just change her outfit, like okay, that was her decision. But it's like sometimes people can just be blinded by rage and then they just act so dishonorably. Like I'm so upset if I find out that she's gonna end up marrying Anatoly. I'm gonna be so upset because it's like this is crazy. Like they're like the complete and total opposite, but not in like a romantic way where it's like opposites attract. It's like no, she has so much innocence and she just has so much naivety that it's like she is going to get ripped to shreds by Anatoly, or she going to get turned the freak out. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like, how is this even going to work out? Like, how is this going to work? But I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. One of the things I've noticed with reading this is I've started to see each character as humanly as possible. Oftentimes, characters are constructed in a way that sometimes can come across as fabricated. Like, for instance, these men who are fighting in this war against Napoleon and the Frenchmen, they are not suddenly swift swordsmen and gunslinging masters. These are regular people. They argue in the middle of a battle. They're overcome by their cowardice. Even high society people, although they present themselves as higher than thou, they aren't above scandal and shame and manipulation and scheming. I also realized that both War and Peace are on either side of the same spectrum, like light is to darkness. They define each other. There's hints of peace during times of war, like when Nikolai finds it in the sun in the middle of cannonballs and bullets flying all around him. The many talks of peace treaties, the general's composure that maintains their calm, which is synonymous with peace. And when things are at peace, there are many warlike tactics present within these high society groups, like Prince Vasily and Anna Mikhailovna's many schemes. Kind of reminds me of Marat, right? And how they took over the Vienna Bridge. Anna Pavlovna, how she moderates her circles in her soirees, and I think in one portion they actually compare her to like a general. Borean being compared to a war horse when she thinks of claiming Anatole for herself, and Pierre talks about Napoleon's idea of essentially bringing what he might think of as peace, but it is through war that he has to accomplish this idea. To me, like I feel like it's boiling down to, and it's just the beginning. I don't really know for sure, but I have this idea how like this is why it's called War and Peace. It's like we can't know peace without knowing war and vice versa. And so yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for this little portion. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys were able to enjoy yourselves. Let me know if you are reading this book. Are you enjoying it? Tell me what you think. All right, until next time. Peace.